Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This will be our first ever two-part series, and the reason being is because this is going to be a long vacation.
Yes, it is, because we're on our honeymoon.
Yesterday, getting here was an absolute crazy experience, traveling to Greece at this time from at least the UK and being fully vaccinated. It's definitely possible, but there's a lot of steps along the way.
We were able to leave Luton Airport once we had the PLF, proof of vaccination, our tickets. We were able to check in, which luckily we got to the airport in plenty of time. The line to check in was very long. I guess they have to manually go through each person's documents, make sure that they have everything. A lot more than what they would normally do pre-COVID. They would just make sure you have a passport, you're good to go.
Once we got to Greece, the line was also quite lengthy. Once we got off the plane, they just kind of corralled everyone together. And then they were selecting people, I would say kind of at random, to get off and take a COVID test. And then once we got to the front of the line, we weren't selected for the COVID test until they took our documents. And then they told just one of the two of us had to go take a COVID test. So Jordan took one for the team.
I did. I ended up taking my first COVID test
of the pandemic.
Additionally, to fly in, whether you're flying from America or the UK in our circumstance, you just have to make sure that you're vaccinated or take a test. We didn't go the test route, we went the vaccination route as we're both vaccinated. We just used the CDC little card that they issue you as proof of vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any problems with that. We just had to enter the information on the PLF form. They send it to you 24 hours beforehand, and you print it off or have a digital copy, and you should be good to go. Yesterday, we spent most of the day traveling, running around, making sure everything was settled for the journey over here. Once we got into country, we took the taxi from the airport, which is about 20 minutes outside the city. We checked in, set our bags down, and then we went upstairs to where we had a reservation for the rooftop bar. You definitely pay for the view, but let me tell you, the food, amazing. I had the spicy tuna sushi roll.
Yeah, and I had a scallop risotto, and oh my gosh, it was so good.
It was so good.
Today, we've got a fun little tour planned. We've got a bus driver that's going to meet us at the Metropolis bus station. They're going to just show us around the city, give us some cool hints of places that we can go check out later.
We got a little lucky because local law says that you don't have to wear masks outside anymore. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Now we don't have to try to muffle to you guys all day and don't get a nice little suntan with our masks.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. So our semi-private tour is just us and one other couple, and essentially the tour guide will take us from location to location and then just give us a free time to explore. So they dropped us off here at the Acropolis, right? Yeah. And then we get an hour and a half to just look around and see all the cool things.
Yeah, there's a lot up here, a lot of ancient stuff, and yeah, it's kind of been a dream of mine. Yeah. So.
And one of the beautiful things about coming here during COVID, I guess, is that it is not nearly as busy as it would normally be. So like there's still some huddles of people, but they said normally it is packed and there's a huge line to get in, and we walked straight through.
Yeah, it's a hot one today though.
Jordan's dying. It is currently 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a little bit warm, but we got sunscreen, we've got shade, it'll be good.
we've only been walking around for like a half hour, and I'm pretty sure the temperature has risen another 10 degrees. Going in the shade, it's like 25 degrees Fahrenheit cooler. We've already reapplied sunscreen. We're not out here trying to think we're tougher than the sun. We're really hoping it's going to work. More than likely, we're going to get
super fried.
Yeah, super fried. So, but the place is incredible. I can't imagine it with more people that it currently is at.
And there's so much beautiful marble everywhere. It's incredible. They said that they got it from 20 kilometers away. I mean, years and years ago. They said the Parthenon was built at, I think it said 447 BC. It's just absolutely crazy, and it's so beautiful. You can see the whole city from up here.
So we're on our second stop of the tour. Behind us is the Temple of Avestas, and around us is the grounds. All around us, there's different ruins, and you can see the Acropolis up top, the Parthenon. You can see all sorts of different buildings, lots of life. There's a market nearby. And Hephaestus is the blacksmith of the gods. He's the one that created all the weapons for the gods, and he is the child of Zeus, who was tossed down the mountain, where he ended up becoming crippled for it, and people made fun of him for that. He was actually married to Aphrodite.
I learn something every day with you.
So we're going to go ahead and climb a little bit up the ways.
Supposedly this is the most preserved temple in Athens, so it'll be nice to see what it was like holistically supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Just down the hill from the Temple of Avestas is this cool little museum. It is all marble, and there's big columns that go all the way down, and it looks like there's an actual inside museum behind us. So we may go check that out before we have to meet up with our tour here in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, otherwise, just enjoying the cool air coming through the pillars and the shade, nice overhead. We just had a quick stop here, and behind us is the Pantheonic Stadium, which is where the first modern day Olympics were held.
That's not the only cool thing about it. This is also where they have a marathon race in Greece. I think he said the first Sunday of November every year. And this is the finish line. It's right here in this stadium. They also have concerts and stuff like that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't look comfortable to sit in, though.
It's the second most important stadium in all of Greece, with the first being the original location for the Olympics. But this is the modern day stadium for the Olympics. So behind us is the Temple of the Olympian Zeus, and as you can see, there's really not a whole lot left.
Little underwhelming.
Yeah, but I guess back then they had to make the temple twice the size in every form. So the pillars are taller, more pillars, building was bigger, the land's bigger, to compensate for the fact that the Acropolis is higher, and Zeus is supposed to be the father of the gods and the leader and all that stuff. So yeah, that's how they compensated by size.
And now we are off to lunch somewhere.
There was a couple stops that we made throughout the day that were really quick, and we didn't really have a lot of time to explain what was happening. So the first stop we made that was quick was the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It's 24/7, 7 days a week. It's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's a bit warm, yeah.
And they're in traditional Greek military clothing. They're not allowed to speak during that time, but there is an older soldier or army person there that's able to help them. Go up to them and ask them questions, but they ask them in a way that's like blink once for no, blink twice for yes, and they adjust their uniform or make sure that they're not feeling unwell. Our second stop, which was at...
I don't know what it was called, but the tour guide said that it's the highest point in the city. So we just got a chance to get out of the car. He drove us up there, which thank goodness he did, and we didn't have a rental because the roads were tight.
Yeah, it was like this close from hitting the mirror, and people just walking where they want.
Yeah, but yeah, he got us up there safe and sound, and we got to jump out and take some photos of the city, or at least that half of the city.
From there, we went to the, there's like a strip of newer buildings that are designed to look older. So there was a library there that's actually no longer in use. There's a gallery for the sciences and arts that's really cool. And then there's also a area where people go for like important academic events, usually college graduation. Overall, with this private experience with the chauffeur and him driving us around in his car, was a great decision. Plus, he made good recommendation for lunch. Apparently, he knew the owner, and so he got us some free ice cream. So,
yeah, it was awesome and a good day. And like I said, we've got a lot more coming tomorrow, so we're just going to turn in for the night. We'll see you guys bright and early. Good morning or good afternoon. We've been on a bus all day, so there hasn't been too much to show you. Got on a bus, picked us up straight from the hotel, which was very convenient. And then we ended up switching buses because they gathered us all and then had us go our separate ways to take the bus to Delphi. So it's just been about 3.5 hours on the bus. We had a little pit stop partway through where we got some food and there were some really pretty views. And now we are here in the city of Delphi.
Here in Delphi, there's a lot of really cool things. Up in the mountain, there's like different fumes of the volcano that comes down, and that's how they would tell their different prophecies with the oracle. Basically, the idea behind Delphi is that Apollo set forward 2 eagles, and they tried to find the center of the earth. One went west, one went east. And then they came back to this spot as the center of the earth, or the navel of the earth. And behind us actually is, I think is kind of the coolest thing here, is a big wall that apparently is like the first newspaper. And when slaves would get their freedom, they would go up to the wall and write, "I am free," and they would use that as proof. It's pretty interesting that still remains today.
We're with a tour group right now that has slowly walked us up this, I guess, mountain, hill. And there's incredible structures along the way. I'm kind of, as they're explaining it, more thinking of this as a statue graveyard. There's sites where all of these beautiful statues used to be that have now been either stolen and moved to other countries or kind of excavated and put in a museum that we're going to go visit later today. So it's a lot of sites, a lot of broken areas, probably because this is, you know, thousands of years old. This is a beautiful place, beautiful city. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at. The hills are amazing, and I guess this is actually a ski resort during the winter. And in the last few years is the first time that people have actually started to live here, not just for tourism purposes. There's a lot to see, and I'm looking forward to going to the museum and seeing some of the statues. And Jordan cooling off a bit. He doesn't have a big floppy hat.
Yeah, it is pretty hot, but luckily because of the valley here, there's a nice breeze.
We were just saying as we were coming down the mountain headed towards the museum how there's so many cats here in Greece. We see them absolutely everywhere. They were at dinner last night. We saw them all throughout the tour. And then as we were walking down the little ticket booth, had like 4 cats just sitting there. And I was like oohing and awing over them. And then Jordan saw these itty bitty babies. Like they couldn't be more than like a couple days old. It's just absolutely crazy how many cats there are here. If you know why, let us know, because we keep seeing them everywhere. We tried to take some footage inside the museum, but Jordan got yelled at by one of the workers.
I just wanted to make a funny joke, and apparently the guy wasn't having it, so...
Yeah, they said no recording and talking, so we did get some footage of what the museum looked like on the inside. There was a lot of really neat stuff. And then hop back on the bus, and they took us to little luncheon, which we just got another Greek salad because, you know, we're in Greece.
Wanted to eat something light since we're out in the heat all day, moving around, wasn't sure what is all entailed, so kind of went on the safer side with just a salad.
Yeah, and then now we hop back on the bus, and they said we've got a couple more stops, so we are at
one of the oldest temples of the area. It's pretty cool seeing it over the valley.
Now it's a little after 7 and we are absolutely starving. So we're actually gonna go meet some of the people that we met on the tour today that we had lunch with. We're gonna do dinner with them at just some place that they saw while they were walking around, and I'm all for it. It looks like fresh food, kind of a mom and pop place, so I'm ready.
Let's go taste some fine Greek food.
last night wrapped up with us going to meet some new friends for dinner. So we found out that they actually have a travel vlog too. So we'll link that down below. He's a martial artist and he does really cool kicks in, you know, beautiful locations. So we got to see a little behind the scenes action of that. Really neat. And they were good people and we had really good food. We kind of got a hodgepodge of stuff at this really unique restaurant.
Yeah, the menu was all handwritten, whatever the guy had for the day. So we went inside and he showed us what was still available that late at night, and we kind of picked. He was really nice and very accommodating, and
Yeah.
it was good food.
Got to try some stuff I probably wouldn't have. I don't think I'd ever pick out sardines, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So, and then today we are starting things off with you guys at about 12 o'clock. We are here at the Temple of Poseidon.
Yeah, all around us is the ocean. It's very beautiful, but our first stop, we stopped at like a natural spring where water is pumped into the little bay there 24/7, and it's pretty hot. They said about 30 degrees Celsius, so around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But there's a like blocked off area that you can only swim in. Anything outside of that, you have to be a professional diver.
Yeah.
So kind of creepy, but kind of cool.
It was really beautiful. And
Yeah.
now we are up here with some gorgeous views and one of the most notorious gods' temples. I mean, I think everybody knows Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go see what it looks like. It's way up high on a hill, so it was kind of easy to see from a distance.
Yeah.
So let's go take a look a little bit closer.
Temple was awesome. We got yelled at by one of the guards again. I mean, yelled at. He just said we couldn't be recording anymore, but I don't know. He didn't really explain it, and he was fine with us taking pictures and recording without the gimbal, so we just kind of put it away.
Then we just kind of went down here to this little cafe, got a quick little refreshment, some bottles of water, and we're gonna meet back in the minivan to head to the beach. I don't know what we're gonna do there, but maybe we'll get some good footage.
Yeah, let's go.
We're at this tiny little Greek restaurant on the side of the beach. Our driver dropped us off, said we had about an hour to either go to the beach or grab lunch. And this is a pretty cool restaurant considering we're feet away from the ocean and you can just hear the waves and the boats and just get some fresh shrimp. That'll be good.
We weren't sure what to get because we're about to do a lot of walking, so we just figured we'd split a Greek salad and some fried shrimp. And Jordan is not ready for the level that this fried shrimp was on.
Quite the appearance change since you last saw us. We got back in the little minivan, drove back to Athens. We were able to have our bus driver drop us off right next to the Acropolis Museum, where our next tour of the day began. So these little electric motorbikes that are great for this weather and ease of transportation.
Yeah, I like our tour guide. It's just him and the two of us. Really, the only downside is that Jordan's helmet doesn't fit him.
Yeah, most things don't fit my big head, so...
And he was staying here the daytime, fixing all the weapons for the gods. And at the nighttime, he went up to Olympus mountain with other gods, and he was staying there. But because he spent a lot of time here with humans, all the temple was underneath the earth. What happened was they excavate the area after reading some old books and estimate that this area is the Temple of Avestas and the old agora, and they excavate the whole area and they found the temple and the old agora. So some evenings I take my wife and a bottle of wine and we come here on the top of that hill and we sit and drink the wine and watch the skies, and it's so quiet. It's like we're outside of the city, we're on vacation or something. It's so pretty.
We just finished up the bike tour. It was a lot of fun. The guy was super nice, and as we were talking, I asked him what his favorite place in Athens is, and he actually took us there. It's just this quiet little secluded area that you can't hear the rest of the city traffic or, you know, motorbikes or anything like that. It was really cool. I like it. He was super friendly, so we'll link his tour down below, so that way you guys can check it out if you're ever in Athens. Definitely worth a shot. We've only got one thing left before we close out this video, huh?
Yes, something I've been looking forward to, and hopefully it doesn't disappoint. A food and walking tour. So excited.
So we stopped back at the hotel, recharged, refreshed, and felt great. Then it's the first time we were able to hit the Athens streets, walk around, get a food walking tour, and just see some unique parts, the markets and everything. We stopped by first the olive oil tasting. There are so many different types of olive oil that goes into it. Like, it's so complex. Who would have thought something from olive oil? But it was amazing. Now, I'm getting some pizza.
So here they make it on spot, fresh. While in other bakeries, because along with spanakopita, tiropita, like the cheese pie, this is like a snack. So the locals would normally pass by the bakery, grab one of these to go and go to the office or maybe have a lunch break. Normally over there it's already baked in the morning and they let it sit, you know. But this one, it's really nice and fresh.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. We just finished up our food tour and oh my gosh, it was so good. We got to see the city at night. We got to try new dishes that we probably never would have picked out for ourselves, and just all of these hole-in-the-wall restaurants that were fantastic. I'm so glad that we did this. I think we have to add food tours to our list of must-dos when we go see a city. What a good way to end our last day in Athens, and what a good way to end part one of this video.
If you enjoyed part one and want to stick around for our crazy adventures in part two, you can only imagine what we're going to get up to as you've seen what we've done so far in Athens. Make sure to click on the button up here or at the end of the video if you're interested in part two. And
As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.